He is the one and only Conor Benn. There he is. Hello, Conor. How are you?
Yes, so I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really well. It's great to have you on the show for the first time. I really appreciate it. Do you not like that title, the bad boy of British boxing? Is that insulting?
I mean, no, I'll take it. I'll take it. Yeah, I don't mind it.
Well, I saw this video of you with your wife who's expecting, and congratulations on that, and good luck to you
Yeah.
guys, and your little boy.
Thank you.
And you seem nothing like a
Yeah.
bad boy. You seem like a kind-hearted, soft-spoken, loving family man. You seem nothing like a bad boy, and so that's why I wondered if you didn't like that label.
You know what? I mean, I don't make you wrong. You are right in saying that. I'm a family man. I have a beautiful family. But I'm a bad boy in that ring.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm not how I may come across maybe post-fight interviews or fight week, because I'm always animated, on edge, ready to go. Whereas in reality, it's nothing like that.
Oh, and there's the aforementioned son right there, right behind you. I was just talking about. Hello. I didn't realize you guys were in the car. Yes.
Yeah, that's my wife, and my son's just got out now.
Okay, lovely. Well, this is a huge deal, an opportunity for you to fight in Las Vegas, a place where your father once fought. But there's a part of me that wonders how you feel about all of this, because let's be honest, Conor, you should be fighting in the UK. You are a massive star in the UK, and it seems as though there is something going on which is precluding you from fighting there. And I want to ask you specifically about that. And so how do you balance the two feelings here? Vegas, fight capital, Sin City, but in a way it feels like you have been somewhat ostracized from your home country.
Yeah, do you know what? It's been very challenging. I think it's probably been the hardest fight to date that I've had to deal with. It's been very well documented. It's public knowledge, the fight that I've been fighting for the past 18 months. For me, home is home. But at the end of the day, the right door's open and the wrong door's closed. It ain't the greatest circumstances of the way I am fighting over here, but it's a dream for every fighter to fight in Vegas, let alone headline in Vegas. So, it's a dream for me. I count my blessings. I don't look at the negative. The case should be concluded this month, and my little American tour will be over, I think. Unless the world title becomes available over here.
And so how do you feel about your home country, Conor? Because look, like I said, it's one thing to fight in Florida, and sometimes they're criticized as a commission. You're fighting in Nevada. That's one of the most respected commissions in the world. You are free, and I spoke to a lot of people yesterday about this. There is no commission, there's no state in the United States, in North America, that would not license you. The best of the best, from California to Nevada to everywhere in between. And yet your home country is trying to stop you from fighting. I don't know how someone who is so proud to be a Brit deals with that. How do you feel about this?
You know what? It's not really spoken about, and it's been something really hard for me to try and understand or accept, because it's become now really personal. So it isn't a matter of evidence, it isn't a matter of innocence, it isn't a matter of being cleared, by the WBC or winning the initial hearing. They're appealing now. So it's been so challenging, man, because it's like, I do this for my country. I do this for you guys. I represent the country. So for me, it was like my own people, my own organization. There was a lot of resentment. There was a lot of bitterness, inside me as to, all right, well, then I'll go where I'm accepted. If you don't want me back home, then no problem, but then it's just one organization that are doing that. Not necessarily the people, and the people want me back. The people want me home. And, I feel like I owe the British public a mega fight. And yeah, I haven't handled it the best. Don't get me wrong. I haven't been the greatest with this. I've made mistakes there. I probably wish I could change or rectify, but I am where I am now, and I can't look back. I can only look forward. And my team have done an amazing job in keeping me active and getting out. Headlining in Vegas, fighting in Orlando. So it's been challenging, man. But it's just one of them things. You play the cards you're dealt. It's the card I've been dealt, and we just keep it moving, man.
Could I ask, what do you wish you could have done differently?
When I went through this period, I was very vocal about my situation. I was very, the way this was dealt with, publicly and internally as well, from the organisation in England, allow fighters to fight in England. The way they dealt with this, it was really, I could see there was an agenda. I could see there was a motive. And, to be approved elsewhere to fight, for me, it was like, what more do you want me guys to do? What do you want me to do? And I was, middle finger to everyone, F everybody. If you don't believe me, if you don't want to give me the benefit of the doubt, all right, well, fuck all of you then. No problem. No problem. I'll stand on what I believe in. I'll stand on the truth. I know the truth. So I fought back, instead of taking a step back and looking at, how it may come across or how it has been seemed or how it has been, the narratives being pushed by the press, the tabloids. I wish I had just not been a fighter in that moment and actually just stayed quiet. But when your character's being targeted and your name's being tarnished and, people aren't giving you the benefit of the doubt, I don't know how people expected me to sit there quietly.
Once you won the appeal, I thought this was over and done with. Once they tried to
Yeah.
appeal the appeal, the only thought that came across my mind was this has to be personal. There has to be more to this because why don't they just let this go? You have already served the time. Even if you did get suspended, you would have been out for 12 to 15 months and that time has elapsed. What more do they want? Do you think this is personal?
Well, they've reached out to all the commissions around the world saying, don't give Conor Benn a license. They've emailed my trainer numerous times saying, Conor can't spar anyone in the gym because I don't have a license. They've threatened Eubank if he fights me that he'll lose his license. Anyone involved in a Conor Benn fight can lose their license. We've got an email that they don't recognize VADA for other fighters. We have it in email, but for me they do, even though I was cleared by VADA. So it's like, okay, so you don't recognize VADA for any other athlete. We've got it in email, black and white. But even though them fighters were banned by VADA, I was cleared by the WBC and their test, and you say now you recognize VADA. So it's double standards, and it's hard, man. Because how do you tell a 26-year-old how to deal with this? Listen to the lawyers and just go missing and not talk about it. Let's just let's just hope it just dies out. Or I just can't do that. It's not who I am. And there was a way out in lying and saying, oh, I accidentally done this. And I spoke to my dad. And my dad said to me, son, it's not, you can't do that. You can't do that. And for me, although it was the hardest decision, so I get well emotional speaking about it, because it takes me back to that time. And I'm proud of me for just saying I haven't done it. I haven't done it. Like, that's it, period. Like, there is no two ways about it. And you think it would have saved me hundreds of thousands. I've spent hundreds of thousands on this, hundreds and pounds, improving my innocence, not knowing whether the science was going to show that or not. But what I did know is I hadn't done it, so the science can't lie. If they can solve murder cases from 20 years ago, they can tell if there's any abnormalities in my body over 6 months. They can tell. And I just had to trust that and I'm willing to spend every last penny I have on this. Every penny I've ever earned, because you know what? The only thing that still stands is my name. But when everything else is gone, that's all that's left.
I'm sorry for drumming up these emotions. I don't mean to do that, and I appreciate you talking about it very, very much. Especially this is the first time, and I've followed your story and your case for a very long time, and I'm curious how you feel about this. I also don't feel, if I could be so blunt, I don't feel like you get a fair shake from the British media as well. I feel like they seem to have some sort of bone to pick with you. Do you feel like you are covered fairly over there?
They crucified me, man.
Why? Why?
They're just notorious for it. It was like, give me the benefit of the doubt. Just give me the benefit of the doubt, please. Like, I'm a lot of things. Like, I'm not perfect. I'm not a saint. I've made so many mistakes. I'm not a role model. I've made so many mistakes. And do you know what? If I made the mistake, do you know what I got? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, I ain't perfect. Like, I raise my hands. Like, I'm just like you. I battle demons like everybody else. I've made mistakes like everybody else. Some bigger than others, some less than others. One thing I'm not is a cheat. That's one thing I'm not. So I can't just sit there and just let my hard work be tarnished, let the Ben name be tarnished. I'm going to protest it and shout it from the rooftops. You know, and the more I spoke about it, the more the tabloids used it as, well, I don't even know. It's like, what do you want me to do? Like, there's nothing more I can do. I'm fighting this too for now. I'm spending my money on this. There's nothing more I can do, you know? So it was hard, but I could say there's maybe a little bit of resentment towards the British public and the media. But then when you begin to accept, you know, bad news sells, gossip sells, you know, people want to see me fall. This is their shot. This is your shot. Take it. You know, you've been waiting for this. An excuse for my rise, an excuse for my hard work, an excuse for my dedication. You use it. You know, this is the only shot you're going to get. And that's how I feel about it.
Was there ever a time where you were close to saying, I'm done, I just want to go away, no one hears from me again, I want nothing to do with this?
I was done.
When was
I
that?
was done. Man, I feel like I'm still healing, man.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Because, yeah, I'm still healing. Yeah, like I was fractions of a man. Fractions of a man I was. And it was so hard to accept. It was hard to accept because it's like, what can I do? How can I change this? How can I move forward? Like, this is it now for me. And, you know, for me, it was like I was just trying to see another day. You know, I was just trying to see another day. I couldn't walk around because I felt shame. I couldn't look at my son because this is your dad. I couldn't. So it was like there was just so much going on at the time that, man, it's just made me strong. It's given me resilience. It's given me strength. It's give me that extra desire to just continue to prove people wrong. But what I've gone for, I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy.
How much did the gravity of this situation affect your performance in September?
So I can't say it affected my performance, but I mean, I never do this. Obviously, I had 17 months out of the ring at the time, and I needed to sleep before the fight. When I mean before the fight, I'm talking my hands are wrapped, my gloves are on, they've been signed by the commission, and I needed to sleep for 20 minutes. I was absolutely exhausted, like mentally exhausted.
Wow.
You know, mentally exhausted. And I never do that. Normally, I'm like, who wants it? Who's ready to fucking, like, that's how I normally am. Like, yeah, let me at him. You know, whereas I had to sleep. But then I can't say that affected my performance, but I've never felt that before in my life, having to sleep. I slept for 20 minutes. I woke up and it was like time to walk out. It was the weirdest thing.
Why do you think that happened?
So I thought it was more because it was just a lot. It was a lot. There was a lot of press. This is a heavy situation. You think I almost lost my life over this. You know, I almost lost my life over this.
When you say that,
you
do
know,
you mean that literally?
Yeah. Yeah.
You wanted to take your life?
Yeah, I mean that. Of course I did. Yeah.
How close did you get?
I went to the location. Yeah, I went to the location, and my dad had just gone home. So my dad had just gone home. So my dad had just gone home, and I was left with obviously my wife and my son, and my dad was with me throughout this whole thing. So I reckon my dad was with me for a total of 6 months, and he had gone that day, and then it was just like I can't handle this. You know, so yeah, it's not like I know like I'm this fighter and I'm this boxer and I'm Conor Benn, but I'm also a human.
Yes.
No, I'm also a human. So for me, it was it come really close. And there were times there's one time when I went to go on a TV show, and on the way there, my wife was crying, and she started crying in the car, and she said, "There was one time you weren't answering your phone, and I thought you'd killed yourself." So it just goes to show how bad I was at the time. I didn't realize how bad I was, but I was struggling. You can't prepare for this. You can't tell anyone. how to deal with this. I've never felt shame like it in my life, even though I'd never done it. I couldn't walk in the gym, I couldn't go anywhere, but I've overcome that now, obviously, where I now look at the bright side. I've got a daughter on the way. I've come through it, but I really have been through hell and back.
Did you feel when you got that win, maybe it wasn't one for the highlight reel, maybe one of your, maybe not one of your favorite performances, but just getting in there, getting to breathe again, getting to fight, getting to do what you love, and your whole life you grew up in this sport. Did you feel like you got your life back in Orlando back in September?
I don't feel like I had my life back until this case is over.
Okay.
That's genuinely how I feel. Like, as much as, for as long as this is hanging over my head and I know they're trying to ban me for 4 years, is how can you move forward? So it's like when I won the hearing, the first hearing, I just found out I was having a daughter straight after I'd won the hearing. So I thought, wow, perfect timing. And then I found out they were appealing. And then it's like, just like this chapter in my book needs closing.
Yeah.
Enables for me to feel like I'm able to move on. So the case will be concluded by the end of February, and me and the whole team are extremely confident in being successful. But I don't just want to just move on from this and leave it. I don't just want to leave this where it is, because I've spent hundreds of thousands on this. And if this can happen to me, this can happen to anyone. So for me, if I can change the standard of testing for this substance, or what about the fighters out there that don't have the resources? What about the fight? What, they just got to take a 2 or 4 year ban? It's not right for the athlete. It's not right, because I know I'm innocent. What about the innocent people out there? If you're guilty, ban them for life. If you're guilty, ban them for life. No, but there's no room for this in combat sport. My dad's put someone in a coma. Chris Eubanks put someone in a coma. There's fighters falling into comas all the time. But if you want to talk about me firsthand, I know the damages caused my dad. Putting Joe McClellan in a coma. I know the damages caused. So for people to think that I could do that, I'm not that guy. And that's just so painful. I've seen it firsthand. My dad still struggles with it to this day. So what about them fighters who are innocent? No. It should be more of a duty of care to the athlete. And the innocent athlete. If you're proven innocent, that's it, done, finished. Don't have to go through all the trauma, all the bad press, public enemy number one. That's my opinion anyway. So I can use my evidence to change the way things are done. Then I'll be a happy man.
So when you get some kind of resolution to all of this, and for your sake, hopefully it's a positive one. What do you mean when you say you're not going to are you then going to try to get the money back that you invested in all? How do you not let this go?
Not let this go by letting there be a new standard of testing for clomiphene.
Okay.
That's use my evidence to change the way things currently are. How can they just go, yeah? How can they just go, yeah, you've tested positive and that's it? Like, you've got to take a 2 year ban.
Okay.
If it's an egg and it looks like an egg and you eat it and it tastes like an egg, it's an egg. How am I supposed to know? How is, or food, whichever food it come by, how am I supposed to know? So I think that needs to be more care for the athlete who may not have the resources, the financial backing, the big promotional companies to investigate and look further into how.
And so do you know exactly when that day is, when you're supposed to hear?
No, it will be by the end of Feb.
Okay.
There is no specific date, but it will be done by the end of Feb.
And if all goes well, you could, by March 1st, if it's by the end of Feb, you could be free to fight in the UK, licensed fighter, and you can,
Yeah.
right. What is the dream scenario for you? Obviously, all goes well on Saturday. Is the dream to reignite the Eubank fight, or do you want to move on with your life?
We can do that fight whenever. We can, like, in the ring, out the ring, we can do it whenever. Like that. I mean, yeah, like, it's personal now.
Why is it personal?
And he made it personal.
How do you make it personal?
Because he's a liar. He's a liar. He's the first person I called and told when this had happened. The only thing he was concerned about was, is the fight still happening? That's the only thing he said to me. And then he claims that I never told him about the test. But then not only that, he then blackmailed me for £1 million for the fight to go ahead. That's why the fight didn't go ahead.
What do you
so
mean?
I told him he blackmailed me for £1 million.
How did he do that?
Well, when it all come out public knowledge, he said, I want £1 million, otherwise the fight's off. And I said, all right, shove it up your ass. I ain't giving you no £1 million. And then that was why the fight didn't go ahead.
Did they tried to make it, Eddie tried to make it for February 3rd for this weekend in Tottenham. Did it not happen because of this pending appeal, or could you have gone with a different commission?
Could have gone with a different commission. And I don't think I will. I think I will box the rest of my career. Even though I've been cleared, I will still box the rest of my career under a different commission.
The PBA?
Because my commission, potentially PBA. Well, listen, I pay their wages. I pay the board's wages. For what? Because where's the duty of care for me? You know, so I'm not going to then go and resume the rest of my career and make them money when they've done this to me. You know, so it's just the way of the world. Everything always comes back around, and how you treat people is how you will be treated. You know, so I will probably likely resume the rest of my career under a different commission.
How do you think you'll be received whenever that fight, that homecoming fight is? How do you think you'll be received by the British public?
I mean, I only get shown love back home. So social media really is the minority.
Okay, so when you're walking around, when you're doing your daily life stuff, you're only shown love?
Well, every day. Like, it's social media is only I've never had anyone say anything to my face, ever.
Speaking of which, I was at Katie Taylor, Chantel Cameron 1 in Ireland back in May, and I believe you were there as well. And I believe there was a thing between you and Kell Brook at the 3 Arena. Is that something that you're looking to resolve? Could that be the next one?
Do you know what, Ariel? I'll fight anyone, man.
Okay. You don't have a hit list. You don't have a ranking order.
I would probably go, if you're talking career development and progress, I'd probably go Barrios for the WBC interim, then I'd probably go Haney, and then I'd probably go Jaron Ennis.
Oh, wow.
Now, if you're talking mega fights, you're talking Eubank, you're talking Smith, you're talking
No problem.
Yeah, you're talking Eubank, you're talking Smith, you're talking Kell Brook, Pacquiao. Those are the big names, the fantasy fights that people want.
Okay. I won't keep you much longer because I know it's a stressful time there, but I just want to ask, I saw the great stare down that you guys had in front of the Las Vegas sign yesterday, and I thought you were in fine form. And there was one telling part where you called him a scared fighter, where you called Dobson a scared fighter, and he said a scared fighter is a dangerous fighter, and then you said, well, you just admitted that you were scared. I thought that was a great exchange. What did you feel from him during that exchange?
He's so scared. Like, I don't normally look into things like that, but I don't normally care, really, to be honest, because either way, it's not going to change the outcome, whether they're scared or not scared. That's how I view it. But when you're talking like that, what happened was we had the initial face-off behind the cameras, just pictures. He didn't say one word. He didn't say one word in the hotel. But then on our way to the Las Vegas sign, someone sent him a message because the person said, I'm going to send him a message to beef it up. Then he started talking. I'm like, you're such a pussy. Like, that's just pussy behavior.
How'd you know?
Like, I don't care.
How'd you know he got the message?
Because I was with the person
okay.
who said he was going to send a message. So I'm like, mate, that is proper. Like that's just and everyone knows as well. Like, you can't do that.
Okay. Is your
dad? So I see him and then I was like, yeah, it's not going part. I reckon I'm gonna get him out there in 1 round.
1 round, you think?
I think so, yeah.
Wow, that would be incredible. Is your dad going to be there?
I'm not sure about this one.
Okay.
As it's a 17-hour flight over the seas. My sister's getting married in 2 weeks, so he needs to help sort all that out.
All right. Well, I wish you nothing but the best, my friend, really. And thank you for coming on
Thank
during
you.
this time. And thank you for opening up. And I hope it's only good stuff for you and your family and your wife and the upcoming birth, all that. Wish you nothing but the best. Good luck this Saturday. We'll be watching. And I can't wait to see you get that homecoming back home later on this year as well, the one that you deserve.
Thank you. I really appreciate it, Ariel.
All right. Great to have you on. There he is, Conor the Destroyer, Conor Benn. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it very much. Hey, if you like this video, give us the old thumbs up. Subscribe as well. You could get many more of these videos on the channel. So please do that. We would love you forever if you did so.